Okay, so I'm just going to do a little training video for you on just some basic handling for Sparty that he knows and how to keep his respect for you. What you want to do is to be able to touch him all over, walk around him, go around his back, and he has to stand there for you. Now, if he did walk off, then I would allow him to make the mistake. He might do this now. Allow him to make the mistake, and then I would wiggle the rope, make it uncomfortable for him, and when he's done what I've asked, I drop the rope and I totally take the pressure off him. He responds very well to pressure and release. Some horses do so more than others. My other horse, Snoopy, is not such a fan of pressure and release. He responds very well to food, snacks, but Sparty is definitely one that responds better to pressure and release, and he's quite sensitive to it as well, so make sure you're not over the top. An example of how to keep him out of your personal space. He is quite a cuddly horse, and he needs to be able to stand back and give you your own space, because if he gets a fright and he's right up close to you or you're close to him, then he is possibly going to jump in your back pocket or try to. So just keep back off him, or get him to keep back off you rather. And the way you can do this is just, we just want to start really softly, just by shaking the finger. And he's done what I've asked straight away, so I've dropped the rope and released all the pressure. I'll ask him again. I want him to do it faster, so I wiggle the rope and I drop. And he drops his head, he understands that. He's chewing, he's licking. No, I don't want you to come into me, I want you to stay there. So what you want to do is have him back there. If he comes towards you and you haven't asked him to, just wiggle the rope, ask for the backward step, and then drop the rope, just so that totally takes the pressure off. He just chewed with his mouth. He's blinking, which means he's understanding. And what he wants to do now is go over to where his feed is, because this is feed time, which is a challenging time to work a horse because they're concentrating on their stomach. But he's very respectful, so he'll be fine with it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I want him to circle around me going to my right. So what I'm going to ask him to do is I'm going to point in that direction that I want him to go, and at the same time lift the rope. So see how I've got it in my hand like this? He has to stay back off me. I've got it in my hand like this, and I'm going to ask him to go to the right. So I'll point, lift this. He hasn't moved, so I'll lift this, swing, right. So he's moved away from me. I'm going to let him trot because he hasn't done much exercise, so he probably needs to get it out of his system. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. It's important not to make a big deal out of things. He wants to trot. He doesn't have to, but he wants to. And we've got a nice loose rein here, loose rope. He's being very, very compliant. Okay, so now I'm going to ask him to stop and face me, because this is a really, really good way of getting respect from the horse. And the way I do this is just watch my body language. I'll wait till he's gone past me, and then I'll look at his bottom and lean forward. And that's his cue that he has to move his bottom away from me and turn and face me. This is like a very, it's a thing that horses do. It's just they use their eyes and their body language in order to move another horse's body away from them. So I'll just show you this at the opposite direction. So again, I'm standing in front of him. I've got the rope. He's anticipating this. I've got the rope in between my thumb and my forefinger, and I'm going to point in the direction that I want him to go. Back up, mate. Pointing. Good boy. And then drop. Don't apply any more pressure if he's going in the direction you want him. Going in the direction you want him to go. So again, I'm going to let him go around one more time, and then if you watch my body language on how I ask him to face me. I let him go past me, make sure he always goes past, and then turn. And reward when he comes and stands in front of you. What's really important about circling, I'm just emphasising this again, is that that you don't keep the pressure up. It's not a constant go, 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 because horses will get very dull to it. You've got to just leave them alone. That's their reward. They're doing what you're asking them to. They're going around in a circle. Just let them go, and then when you want something to change, like a stop or a change of pace, then you can ask a different question. Leading. What you want to do, a big horse like this, is you don't want to have him right next to you. I mean, there's lots of different schools of thought, but if I'm leading a horse like this is the traditional way to lead a horse, is underneath here and over here, and we're walking along. Now if he's a bit jumpy, if he decides that if something is frightening for him, my feet are dangerously close to his, my body is dangerously close to his, and my arms are only a certain length, and I don't feel safe here. I want him to have respect and stay away from me. Now if you look at a way horses are in the wild or in a paddock, the lead horse, the dominant horse, which in this case will be me, is the one that leads through she's first through the gate, she's first down to the watering hole, etc., etc. And the submissive horses, or the horses lower down the pecking order, they follow behind, one behind each other. So what I want him to do is keep his distance, and you'll notice, like in a herd situation, if I'm the front horse and he gets too close, I will, through body language, give him a warning kick to keep back. So he has to keep I've got my personal space, he has to keep his personal space from me. So what we can do is when we're leading, he stays there. And he has to stop when I stop. And he has to back when I back. And that is a very respectful thing to do for him, because a lot of horses, and when I first got him, I did have a little bit of an issue with him crowding me because he is so affectionate, but this has turned into a lovely relationship because he's much more respectful for me now. He knows that I'm not going to hurt him. I just demand that we have this mutual respect. So that's just one of my, all the research that I've done, that's one of my opinions on how to safely lead a horse. Now a lot of people would say, but if you're out in front like this, what if he jumps forward? If you establish enough respect, he's going to keep his distance from you, and if you've got this much distance, he can get past you. Horses aren't silly. They're not silly. They can work it out and they can avoid you. So that's pretty much all you really need to know. That's some pretty basic, some circling, some backing, and some leading. And if you just practice that with him, he's a very quick learner, and a very, very friendly boy. He just loves attention. He's a very silky boy. And you're going to have a lot of fun with him.